I'm going to use Minitab Express and the distribution plot to find the percent of women who have a height more than 68 inches, less than 62 inches, and between 61 and 70 inches. And I'm assuming that women's heights are normally distributed with a mean of 64 and a standard deviation of 3.5 inches. So I'm going to go to my Statistics tab, and I'm going to do all of these with the distribution plot. Scroll down to Display Probability, and I'm working with normal, but women's heights don't have a mean of 0 and standard deviation of 1 for this example. The mean height is 64 inches, and the standard deviation is 3.5 inches. And I'm using X values as my input. So for the first part, I want to know what percent of women have a height more than 68 inches. So more than will be a right tail situation. And then I put in the X value of 68 and click on OK. I'm going to get rid of the spreadsheet. So we'll see that since 68 inches is above the mean, this area, or the probability, is going to be less than a half. This is also the probability of randomly selecting a woman from this population and getting a height that is more than 68. In terms of a percent of a population, about 12.7% of the population of women have a height more than 68 inches. To answer the second part, I want to find the percent of women who have a height less than 62 inches. Going back to Statistics tab, going back to my distribution plot, down to normal probability. Again, changing this to 64 and 3.5. It would be very handy if it saved these values like the TI-84 does. All right, so if I'm asking for the percent of the population who has a height less than 62, that's going to be a left tail situation. And I need to change this to X value. In other words, it's expecting an X value, a value along the horizontal axis as the input. So changing that to 62, I'll see that from the graph, about 28.4% of the population of women have a height less than 62 inches. Last but not least, let's go to a between case. Let's find the percent of the population of women who that have a height between 61 and 70 inches. So going back to distribution plot, display probability, and I want to again change mu and sigma to 64 and 3.5 respectively. And the between case will be middle, and I want to give it the two X values. If we were working backwards, in other words, if we were given a probability, an area between, and we were finding the X values, we would be using specified probability instead. My first X value is 61. My second X value is 70. All right, we'll see that about 76.1% of the population of women have a height between 61 and 70 inches.